Welcome to the Daily Reader podcast, where we read from a daily reader or a devotional and we learn tools and principles, including prayer, breath work, and meditation to help us stay more present and to live better lives. We meet on here every morning at 7 a.m. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe for future content and episode updates. Sorry, having a little bit more technical issues this morning. Also, I apologize for the delay. It is what it is, so just do the best we can, right? What we have, and just do what we can. So, how is everybody this morning? I'm doing pretty good. Slept pretty good last night. Can't complain. What good does it do anyway, right? Unless you're in a restaurant and you get, like, somebody screws up your food or your order. Then you can complain. Or if eBay or Amazon sends you the wrong product, sends you a broken product, then you can complain. But otherwise, yeah, usually don't do too much good. So we'll go ahead and get started, y'all. So wherever you're at, go ahead and find a comfortable place, stopping point. Hey, Crudy, good morning. Welcome. You're on here bright and early this morning, so good to see you. So go ahead and, when you get somewhere comfortable and safe, go ahead and close your eyes. Just take some breaths, breathing in your nose, out your mouth. This morning we're going to focus on gratitude. What are you grateful for? So no need to put it in the comments. You can just think about that yourself. And personally, I'm grateful for another day of being alive on this beautiful planet we have. There's a lot of bad things out there going on, but there's also a lot of good things going on out there that a lot of times the news doesn't focus on. I don't watch the news, but I heard about these riots going on out in LA. Somebody told me about them a couple of days ago. First time I heard about them. I could choose to focus on that, or I could choose to focus on something else good that's going on, the love being spread in the world. Like this podcast. I'm grateful for, another thing I'm grateful for is technology. Without YouTube, without Facebook and these other social media, we wouldn't be able to do things like this. So just really allow yourself to focus on just one thing is enough. Focus on what you're grateful for this morning and really get into that thankful heart, gratitude, thanking God for it. Excuse me. We can choose our emotional states. We don't have to be blowing around like the wind. Anytime something happens in our lives, a ripple happens. We can choose to be grateful. We can choose to be happy. We can choose to be excited about life. Not to say the other emotions won't happen, y'all. Might be sad for a short time, frustrated, angry, fearful. But we can always come back to that baseline of what we have in our lives. Whatever that may be. Maybe happiness, maybe joy, maybe peace, love. And this morning, gratitude, thankfulness is the focus. I can choose to come back to that state. As my baseline, which is what I usually do. I usually come back to happiness. Probably say I'm happy probably 75% of the time. Okay, let's just do one more breath. Then today we'll do the short version of the Serenity Prayer. So breathe in your nose deep as you can go on an out breath. Blow it out audibly, forcefully, releasing any stress or tension that you might still be holding on to in your body. Some of it you may or may not even know you're holding on to. And prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Hey, Crudy, it's going pretty good. You're not sure what you're talking about. Maybe you're probably talking about another podcast. Yeah, that's not I don't really do that on this podcast. This podcast is doing the daily readers and devotionals, prayer, meditation, breath work stuff. I don't know. You might be talking about the Open Road podcast. Is that what you're talking about? Where I talk about my over 20 years of driving experience. Yeah, if so, I don't know when I'm going to be starting that one yet. It's just right now, it's kind of planned for a future podcast, talking about all the crazy stories and things I've dealt with over 20 years of driving. But if you're talking about FedEx, I started FedEx a couple days ago. Okay. June I believe we're on, let me check the date again, y'all, sorry. Excuse me for a minute. June the 12th. I thought I could skip over step 1 because I didn't live with my alcoholic stepfather anymore. Then I heard other members apply step 1 in a different way. They substituted other words or phrases for the word alcohol. Instead of saying they were powerless over alcohol, they mentioned other people or situations over which they were powerless. I looked at my past and saw with new clarity the times I had tried to exert control without results. I hid my stepfather's booze. I avoided my mother's constant yelling by staying out late, often getting into trouble. I finally saw how these attempts at control had harmed rather than helped me. I looked to my present and recognized how I sought to gain other people's acceptance by saying or doing, or in some cases not saying or not doing the things I thought that they wanted. Manipulation had become second nature to me. I discovered how much I wanted other people to change so I could be happy. I even saw how I took pains to control the speed and direction of my own recovery. Sometimes it takes me a while to figure out whom or what I can't control. When I figure it out, I can put the appropriate word into step 1. Today, the usefulness of step 1 is broader for me because I can substitute all manner of people and substitutions for alcohol. I usually use addiction, y'all, if you'll notice in here, addict. There could be many things that I can be addicted to, or other people can be addicted to. This breath also helps me work step 12 because each and every one of my affairs contains elements that I cannot control. Thought for the day. Step 1 can be a multi-purpose tool. We can take Al-Anon's first step, admitting we are powerless over the facts of our situation and the other people involved, and that our lives have become unmanageable. And that's from the book In All Our Affairs, page 31. Okay. Good deal. Yeah, I read it wrong. I thought you said, when am I going to start the portion about FedEx? Thought you was talking about the actual podcast portion. Y'all excuse me 1 second. I got to get off here real quick and take care of something here. All right, I am back. So that was a pretty good reading this morning. I really started to grow more when I started coming into the meetings, the groups of the 12 steps. They really helped me a lot with all sorts of things in my life. But one thing is where it talks about here is admitting we are powerless over a lot of things in our lives, right? We're powerless over other people. We're powerless over other people, places, and things. We're powerless over all of that. So, but just because we're powerless over all that don't mean we're not powerless over ourselves. Sometimes we can't control ourselves, right? But the more aware we become, the more present we become, which is what I like to say this podcast is really about. One of the things it is about is presence. So the more we can be present in our lives, like in the here and now, y'all. Okay, right here, right now, not the past, not the future, because it ain't here yet. The past is gone. That's what I always say. Then the more we can really get into our habits and what we're doing to be able to make changes that we need to make. So that's really powerful, y'all. But if you accept that, it takes the choice of actually accepting that we're powerless over other people, places, and things. Until we accept that, nothing can really change, right? Especially if we live in childhood around addiction or in addiction, which is like I did with the alcoholic stepdad I had. So it's been really a lot. Overcome all that stuff, and I'm still trying to overcome a lot of it. I've got a lot of control tendencies. Most of them, I think, have been resolved. I used to try to control everyone around me. Now, I just make choices, right? This is a lot about making choices. Choose boundaries that I want to have for myself. And what I'm willing to tolerate in my life and what I'm not willing to tolerate in my life. And that's okay. It's okay to do that, y'all. That's not about control. It's about having limits. We have certain limits of what we're willing to accept in our lives and what we're not willing to accept in our lives or put up with. So, not trying to change the other person. They continue doing what they're doing, right? Whatever. But we choose not to be around a certain person, but a certain amount of time. That's a choice we make, right? A lot of toxic people out there. I'm not saying that's about everybody, myself included. I've got still working on things myself that I'm trying to fix, right? I'm not perfect either, but I believe the more we limit our time around toxic people, I think the better our life will get. Negativity and all that, so it comes with that. So, and then the more peaceful we can become as well in our life, happy. My grandmother always used to say, "Birds of a feather flock together." So that means if you hang out with a bunch of thieves or people that are stealing and lying all the time, and you're probably going to end up stealing and lying eventually. So it's not always the case, because I had a lot of that in high school. A lot of people that used to smoke and do drugs, and used to hang out with them some in the past, right? I didn't do it really, try not to do it these days, but past I have done that, and I never really got into drugs. Never really got into drugs or alcohol. I did drink socially for a little while, and then I quit. And it's 6 or 7 years ago. So it's been 6 years. I've had one. Say in 6 years, I've had probably one or two drinks in 6 years. So I'm grateful for that. So yeah, I hope y'all got some value. As always, I appreciate y'all. We're about to go ahead and finish it up here, and let me check my chat. I don't know why it don't stay on here. My chat disappears after a few minutes. Okay. All right. Well, let's look forward to seeing y'all again tomorrow. As always, y'all. Sorry about all these sniffles on allergy shots are a little bit past due. I'm going this morning to get them, so I'll start getting them under control a little bit better for me, helping with that. So, y'all, peace and love.